So one of the main reasons I think businesses fail is because people never have enough cash on hand when they start their business. And this is not like unique to business starting. I think people don't got enough cash in general. But it's just like buying a house. If if you are strapped for cash already with just basic living, and then you say, "Oh, you know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw a house on top of that." Like you're gonna be broke. Like that's you. It's not a matter of, well, maybe I'll get away with it. Maybe my house will have no problems. No, it's gonna have problems, and so will your business. Like it's going to have issues, and that's something I've always known that, but I'm seeing it like real time. I'll give you some examples. We are doing jobs for other people in their houses, right? And we always have estimates for there's going to be estimates for what we think it's going to cost, and then what it actually costs. And something I've started doing is showing the estimates versus what the actual cost is. Now, materials we can normally control, right? What we buy we can control, but there might be things you run into where you didn't expect it. Like what happens if you get behind a wall and you realize there's a leak? What happens then? You know what I mean? Like some of that stuff you'll know, but some of that stuff you won't. And when we're starting a house, we're starting a flip right here, probably in the next couple of weeks. And I already know the budget for this flip is not going to end up where we think it is. Now, it might be more, it might be less, but it will never be exactly what you think. It will not be. I already know that. And the whole point is that this is part of the reason we're doing it with cash. This is why we're flipping this house that we're about to buy with cash. And let me just tell you, when we get the house, when we finish it up, or we close on the house, I'm gonna do a walkthrough. I will put it on this channel because it's in rough shape. I'm gonna be real with y'all. It is not a pretty house, okay? But we're gonna make it nice. But yeah, it needs help. And there is just so many unknowns when you are doing any type of work, but especially construction. But every business has this. Every business has unforeseen costs, which is why when you price things, especially if you're somebody who's like in a service industry, if you're going to price stuff, you need to price in the unknown. You need to price in things like, especially if this is how you're going to feed your family, right? Let's say you don't have another job. Let's say you quit your full-time job to do a business, especially like a service business. You need to be pricing in healthcare. You need to be pricing in the fact that if you need to take a sick day, you ain't got no money coming in. Like you need to price in the unforeseen stuff because you ain't going to go back to a homeowner. Like if you tell a homeowner, it's going to cost like $7,000 to do your floor, right? And the materials are going to cost you about $3,000. These are just made up numbers, right? Let's say something happens with the floor where you see that the whole floor is like rotted out. Now you could go back to the homeowner and be like, "Hey, by the way, bad example. Let's say you break half the floor in transit, right? You do it. It wasn't, they got you the materials, they were fine, but you were silly, and for some reason, somehow you didn't strap it down right, and now you broke half the materials, now you got to rebuy it. You ain't going back to the homeowner and be like, "Oh, by the way, I broke half your floor, so I need another $4,000 for the materials." No, you ain't doing that. It's coming out of your pocket. You have to price your time as if it is to make it worth it. In business, if you don't do that in business, that cash is going to get gobbled up so fast. Like, I don't think y'all understand. It's not, when people say like have an emergency fund, when people are saying that to you who have been through it, we're not saying it because we're just like trying to gatekeep either business or wealth or whatever it is. It's not about that. It's about telling you, like, you're about to go through some shit. If you're really serious, you're about to go through some shit. You don't think your business is going to be cash strapped at some point? You don't think you're going to need money, cash on hand to pay for shit, even though there's no money coming in at some point? See, I'm somebody who operates on the worst case scenarios. That I like to plan for worst case scenarios. When I do plans, I'm like, all right, well, this costs $3,000, but I'm gonna say it costs $3,700 because you don't know. You really don't know. What if you accidentally mispriced it, or you accidentally mismeasured or something, and you need more materials? You got to come out of pocket more. What if you need more money? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. This is why cash is so important in your real life and in your business life. Like, this is not a game. The world does not care. And this is how you know the world does not care. Like in that example where you coming back to the homeowner like, oh, I broke the floor, right? They don't care. You know why? Because they also are cash strapped. They ain't got no money either. You can't depend on someone else's generosity to get you through to the next level. You cannot depend on somebody else's understanding to be able for your business to survive. That's why I never understand when I see people like, and I know people who do this. I never understand when I see like people in service industries who charge like nothing for their service. Like in my mind, I would rather be considered like upscale, the higher tier, and have less clients than be servicing everybody for pennies. Because if you service literally everybody, you're underpriced. And you're working yourself like a dog for probably less money than the person who is charging more. Like, think about the percentages. If you are getting 100% of the calls, you take 100% of the calls, right? And you doing it for $30, every service, $30, whatever it is, $30. You could take 50% of the calls if it was $100. You could take 50% less calls at $100 and still make more money. More money. Because at $100, you're still charging more than 100% of what you were charging. Like, that's just how the numbers work out. So, like, I'm not saying everybody needs to be, everything needs to be expensive. Everything's already expensive. I get that. But this is part of the reason.